Good morning and welcome to the 198th Sovereigns Parade here at the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst. My name is Major Kirsty Deakin-Main and I'm joined here today by Major Carl Taylor and Captain Rob Beckett. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning to you, Kirsty, and a great privilege again to be here on a special occasion. And good morning to the viewers who are all tuning in all over the country to see the future of Army officers about to commission here at Sandhurst. Rob, over to you.
Thank you, Kirsty, Carl, and good morning to all our listeners online. What a treat we have in store today, and what an honour it is to do such an iconic military spectacle that is the Sovereigns Parade. The sun is shining, the boots are sparkling, and the admiration for those marching up the famous steps today will stay in your memories forever. Please press like and share. Also share with us your thoughts and well wishes in the comments below for those officer cadets starting out on a military journey that they have selflessly committed to undertake.
And we're here today to recognise the great achievement of Commissioning Course 213, which contains 208 British officer cadets and 41 international cadets from 26 countries.
For those of you tuning in now, you can see the Academy Adjutant, Major Chris Davis. He is riding Falkland, who's the charger on the parade for today. He is flanked by 4 officer cadets who are stick orderlies, and we'll talk about them later on. But on the right-hand side of the charger, you can see the Academy Sergeant Major Colin Kirkwood of the Scots Guards. And this is a proud moment for him as well as the Academy Adjutant to lead the parade. Just behind him, to the right-hand side, you can see Officer Cadet Ewan Clark, and he is the Commandant's Piper. And again, we'll hear more about him later on. He plays a vital role during this parade today.
We're delighted to have all 3 intakes on parade today. Commissioning Course 222 Junior Division, Commissioning Course 221 Intermediate Division, and of course Commissioning Course 213 the Senior Division, who will be commissioning today. The nerves will be calming now as they come onto Old College Square and settle into their stride. I certainly remember the feeling of pride as I walked onto the parade on my commissioning day. This will be the first time that the cadets will see the stands full with their friends and family, and their focus will be on looking smart and not losing step. This day really is about Commissioning Course 213. And as you look at the parade square on this sunny summer's day, you can see the Senior Division leading the parade. They consist of some company. Their company commander is Major Charlie Lee of PWRR. Eaps Company, commanded by Major Reg Gentry of the RMAS, and Gaza Company, commanded by Major James Corns, Royal Signals. The company commanders are in the stands watching with pride, and you'll see their company sergeant majors on parade with the officer cadets. And just coming into shot now is the new college adjutant, Captain Chris Pollard of the Grenadier Guards, and he rides the beautiful grey horse, Boris.
And as you can see, the last body of officer cadets now coming onto Old College Parade Ground. They would have formed up this morning and stepped off at 9:30 on New College. So it's taken them about 8 minutes to get onto parade, and that's even before starting the parade. They'll now form up, halt, and get their dress in and ready to adhere to the Academy Adjutant's words of command.
The soldier that you can see making his way to the front rank of the senior division is New College Regimental Sergeant Major W01 Hutchins of the Coldstream Guards. W01's Alex Hutchins is the 4th generation Household Division. His father was also a Coldstream Guardsman. This is his last posting with the colours, as he will be moving on to civilian life in March 2023 after 25 years loyal service. This is his last parade, and he will be starting civilian life in the up and coming weeks.
Okay, in this stage you can see that all the Sergeant Majors, so New College Regimental Sergeant Major will dress off the senior division, and then you'll have the Regimental Sergeant Major of Old College, which is Timperley, as you can see shouting there. He's dressing off the intermediate term. Sorry, he's at the rear now, and then you've got a Company Sergeant Major dressing off the intermediate term. So all 3 terms will get dressed off, but in particular for the front ranks into the position ready for the inspection party.
What we're waiting for now is the Sovereign's banner to be carried on parade. The Sovereign's banner will be carried by Company Sergeant Major Massey and then escorted by Colour Sergeant Gagan and Colour Sergeant Bourne, all from the Mercian Regiment. This is the first time that the Mercian Regiment have escorted the Sovereign's banner. The Queen's colour is carried today by Officer Cadet Badger of Garza Company. He's joining the Irish Guards. And the Sandhurst colour is carried by Officer Cadet Lowe of Garza Company, and he's joining the Coldstream Guards.
Forward! Colour party! Halt! Escort to the banner! Halt! Escort to the banner. Aim out! Turn! Escort to the colour and banner party! Present! Out! Sandhurst! Slow!
So that's the parade now set with both the colours and the Sovereign's banner now on parade. And then we're going to go forward into waiting for the Sovereign's rep.
Sandhurst! Stand at ease! Stand easy!
Quick, march!
And as we wait for the Sovereign's representative to arrive, we'll cut to a short clip and meet some of the senior division officer cadets who have shared their thoughts and experiences about their training.
So we've been conducting a battle group level attack on a town in Germany. So it's the final exercise of our senior term at Sandhurst.
It's a culmination of all our training where all of the companies, Gaza, Somme and Ypres, have all come together to conduct one final attack at the end of our training.
So it's been massively up the complexity from the previous exercises, and dealing with enemy who are kind of like allowed free rein to do what they like, move and counter-attack and withdraw as necessary. Definitely poses more challenges as a commander.
The enemy's been a lot more dynamic to our previous exercises. It's been really interesting to work against people who are actually moving around different places, have their own tactics and their own way of doing things.
It's the first time that at Sandhurst we've ever done a battle group attack. It's the most complicated thing we've ever done, but arguably the most successful. It's amazing to see all of the companies working together and for it to come together and be so successful.
I've thoroughly enjoyed my time at Sandhurst. It's been challenging but equally rewarding. What you put in, you get out, and it's a place like no other.
So my time at Sandhurst, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the challenge of it, and it's not every day you get to see stuff like this in your day job.
I'm just so excited to walk up the steps with literally my best mates next to me. And I'm just buzzing to get out of Sandhurst and join the real field army.
I'm more than ready now to move on to the next phase of my career and get to know my new soldiers and my new regiment, and I can't wait.
This is
Sandhurst, slow, arms.
So currently you'll see the President of Rwanda walking up to take his seat to watch his son, who's on parade and commissioning today.
Sandhurst, general salute. Present, arms. Sandhurst, slow, arms. Sandhurst, shoulder, arms. Easy.
And we're just getting a great view of the officer cadets whilst we wait for the Sovereign's representative, General Bajwa, the Chief of Army Staff, Pakistan.
Sandhurst! Sandhurst! Turn!
So here we can see General Bajwa, the Chief of Army Staff Pakistan, who's been invited to represent Her Majesty the Queen at the Sovereign's Parade. He will become the first Pakistani to be the Sovereign's representative, and he's accompanied by his wife and his ADC. You'll hear the pipes. This isn't the normal format of the parade, but this will be the Commandant's last day in uniform after 37 years of dedicated service. No doubt an emotional day for him and his wife Robin, and we thank him and her for all that they have done for not only the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst, but the wider Army, and we wish them all the best for the future. The Piper, Officer Cadet Ewan Clark, is actually an intermediate term and is from 24 Platoon Burma Company, commissioning into the Scots. And you can see the Commandant Major General Duncan Capps, late Royal Logistics Corps.
Orderlies. Halt. Sandhurst. General salute. Present. Arms. Sandhurst. Slow.
Yeah, it was good to see the Sovereign's rep being escorted by the stick orderlies. We'll speak about them shortly, but also flanked by a Gurkha company Satang half guard that provide an honour guard for the approach. And this is here now where the Academy Adjutant will go forward and state the parade to the inspecting officer.
Good morning, sir. There are 671 officer cadets on parade. 245 are commissioning today, of whom 41 are international officer cadets. May I have your leave to carry on, sir, please?
Please, go ahead. Stand fast! Then senior division. The remainder, change, arms! The remainder,
And the Academy Adjutant now getting the senior division ready for the inspection party, and they'll be led by the two front stick orderlies to the far left-hand side of the parade where they'll begin the inspection. You can also see there in the screen the senior under officer also making his way to the right-hand side of the parade where they can meet the inspecting officer.
And as Carl has already mentioned, you can see the two female stick orderlies escorting the inspecting party. We have Officer Cadet Elizabeth O'Brien, who is off to Phase 2 training at Brecon and looking forward to joining PWRR on completion of her Platoon Commander's Battle Course. And we've got Officer Cadet Louise Gammon, commissioning into the Queen's Dragoon Guards in the Light Cavalry role, following completion of her Phase 2 training at Bovington. And here you can see the inspecting party meeting the Sword of Honour winner.
Also joining the inspection party, as you can see, is the Academy Sergeant Major. So he will keep a keen eye on the troops as they're marching past, and he'll have a chance for the senior under officer and the inspecting officer, the Sovereign's representative, to have a few words with a number of the senior division officer cadets that are commissioned today.
I think it's a good point now, Carl, where we mentioned the band. The band on parade today is the British Army Band Catterick. They're based in Catterick Garrison, and they're one of 3 regular Army brass bands. The band was formed in 2019, bringing together musicians from the Corps of the Royal Armoured Corps, the King's Division, the Corps of Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers. The Director of Music is Captain Matt Simmons, who joined the Army in 1999. He's supported also by a wealth of experience, Bandmaster Staff Sergeant Chris Brown, who has served for 32 years, and Warrant Officer Class 2, Alistair Smith, who served for 29 years. So just with them 3, we've got 80 years experience of military music on parade, and what a fine job they're going to do.
And Kirsty, you can almost imagine what's going through the Commandant's mind there as he was on parade himself 37 years ago, and being his last day in uniform, he's absolutely relishing the opportunity. He did a Commandant's parade on Wednesday where he addressed the whole college as a pre-rehearsal prior to this parade to make sure we were in good order. And he did mention that it was his last day in parade. Also, College Regimental Sergeant Major Hutchins was his last parade, but also a few other key members of the Academy, in particular the Staff Quartermaster Richard Braden, who will be finishing his time here and going on to a civilian environment. as well as W1 Key, who has been instrumental in the supporting role in the dismounted close combat wing. They're also joined with the intake that will now leave, so you'll have a fresh set of instructors join in September. So another intake will leave this particular academy ready for the new fresh set of instructors. Okay, in this stage, they're going to march past the colours, and you'll see them give an eyes right or salute in order to respect the colours that are on parade before they continue with the second half of the inspection. As you can see, some of the officer cadets are wearing some medals, and some of these are ex-rankers, so have served as soldiers before joining the academy to become officers. So they've served on operations prior to attending this course. So those are some of the medals. Other medals are Jubilee medals that are also worn if they have served for over 5 years prior to the 8th of February 2022. The international cadets will receive a Sandhurst Trust Medal, and that could be proudly worn and shown today. And that is awarded by the Commandant and the Director of the Sandhurst Trust. So we've heard about the inspection party, we've heard a little bit about the officer cadets that are on parade and the inspection as it is, and we've heard about the band. And in particular, let's just sit back and enjoy the music while the remainder of the inspection takes place.
No doubt this will be an extremely proud moment for all the officer cadets and their families and friends watching the parade today. And of course, it'd be wrong not to mention the permanent staff. I'm sure that the officer cadets would like to thank them for all of their hard work, diligence and patience in coaching and preparing them so thoroughly for the challenges that will face them when they leave here, and for getting them ready for this parade.
The colour that we can see there is the colour that's being trooped today. It's the Sovereign's banner. It's currently third generation of itself. It was presented by Her Majesty the Queen in 1999. The first Sovereign's banner, known as King George V's banner, was presented by George V in 1918. And the second one was presented by Her Majesty on October 1978.
Respecting the colour.
So, as Carl said on Wednesday, the cadets did a full run-through for the Commandant's Parade. In General Cap's speech, he reminded those commissioning where they've come from, but also what they have to come, stating that leaders earn their loyalty and respect based on how much they give and how they serve their people, reminding them of the Chief of General Staff's words to them last week when he said, "Your soldiers will not care how much you know until they know how much you care." These words will stay with the officer cadets as they commission and move on through their careers.
And the inspection party now moving through towards the Sovereign's platoon. And this you'll see the senior under officer and the Academy Sergeant Major will ask for leave to carry on. The senior under officer will go forward in front of the parade and stand the parade easy, whilst the Academy Sergeant Major will fall at the rear of the Sovereign's platoon. And you might catch it on the screen, but he has his pay stick removed, and this is the first time, and on the troop and the colour, if a regimental sergeant major is going to go forward and collect the colour where they draw their swords on parade.
So now the inspecting party is escorted back to the dais, and just behind the Commandant you can see the Military Assistant Commandant of Royal Military Academy Sandhurst, Captain Sam Richardson, who will also be leaving the Academy today.
And that's now the senior under officer now taking its position back on parade.
Stand fast, their senior division. The remainder, turn. The remainder, change, arms. The remainder, stand at ease. Troop. The Sovereign's platoon! Shoot! Slow! Arms! Close order! March! The Sovereign's platoon will advance by the centre! Quick! March! The Sovereign's platoon!
What we're going to see now is the Sovereign's platoon come forward, left form, and then march to meet the Sovereign's banner and take over control of it. The Sovereign's platoon, which wear multicoloured lanyards using colours from all three divisions, is selected on merit as the best platoon amongst the intake. These officer cadets have been in a competition throughout their 42 weeks training. The competition comprises of drill, orienteering, shooting, cross-country, a lot of academic tests, and the final event is the march and shoot. This is one proud platoon to ultimately have the honour of trooping the colour or the banner today.
The Sovereign's platoon! Eyes! Pad! Sandhurst! Turn! Sandhurst! Slow! Arms!
And now you can see the Academy Sergeant Major making his way from the rear of the Sovereign's platoon. As he walks onto the front, he'll pick up the ensign who will be carrying the Sovereign's platoon. And the Academy Sergeant Major will take over the Sovereign banner and hand it over to the ensign.
The ensign today is Officer Cadet Pittman of the Sovereign's platoon. Officer Cadet Luke Pittman is from Cirencester, Gloucestershire, and was educated at Eton College and studied engineering at Oxford University. Officer Cadet Pittman enjoys playing tennis, football and golf in his spare time, and he looks forward to commissioning into the Household Cavalry Regiment.
The Sovereign's Platoon! Present! Arms! The Sovereign's Platoon! Slow! Arms! The Sovereign's Platoon will advance by the right. Slow! March!
And it is particular to note that the colours and banners are extremely important to any regiment, normally presented by Her Majesty the Queen, and they contain insignia of the battle honours of the unit that they have fought in. They're normally held secure in an officer's mess and will be escorted when moved from place to place. On the battlefield, however, they signify a rallying point for soldiers to return to in chaos of battle, and then we'll later see a demonstration of when the colour is then trooped in front of the senior division so that they can recognise the colour that they've just been trooping.
There, just going through shot, is the proud platoon colour sergeant of the Sovereign's Platoon. That is Colour Sergeant Ray, and he's from the Coldstream Guards. He was posted to the Academy in 2020 after his last role as the Recce second in command of the 1st Battalion Coldstream Guards. This is his second opportunity to commission a regular course, one of them being the Sovereign's Platoon here today. He's immensely proud of all 14 platoons' achievements and being part of the Sovereign's Platoon commissioning course 213. Colour Sergeant Ray finishes at Royal Military Academy Sandhurst this term and returns to the 1st Battalion Coldstream Guards in August. Colour Sergeant Ray is married to Elizabeth and they are both expecting their first boy in November.
And that's the senior division with swords and the intermediate and junior division with rifles now presenting arms as the banner is now trooped through the ranks. The Sovereign's Platoon now making their way back to their original position on the far left of the parade, and they're joined by some company to their right hand side. Between the centre, so either side of the colours that you just seen just then, is Gaza Company, and to the right hand side is Ypres Company. And what we can expect now is we can expect the Sovereign's platoon to halt and then face towards the front. And then you'll see the Academy Adjutant moving forward to give the words of command, ready for the parade to march round in slow and in quick time.
Sandhurst will march past in slow and quick time. Divisions into column. Right wheel by the right. Slow march.
The parade step off in slow time now, a huge relief for every single officer cadet and member of staff on parade as they finally move after being stood still for probably about 30 minutes at this stage.
And a beautiful view of Old College, the iconic building of the Royal Military Academy. The Royal Military Academy was established in Woolwich in 1741 to train officers for the artillery, my cap badge, and the engineers. A similar institution was founded for the cavalry and infantry officers in 1802 in High Wycombe. The first commissioning parade at the new Royal Military Academy Sandhurst was held on the 14th of July 1948 in the presence of His Majesty King George VI, who decreed henceforth that the parade was to be known as the Sovereign's Parade.
You can see the parade moving their way to the far left-hand side of the parade ground now, and this is so that all the senior term will get in front of the intermediate term, followed by the junior term, and will march past the dais. So the inspecting officer will be stood on the dais, just to the left-hand side out of the screen, and all the troops in their half companies will march past and respect and pay compliments to the inspecting officer. The Academy Adjutant leading the parade and giving the first compliments to the inspecting officer. Just incidentally enough, the charges are looked after by experienced ceremonial members of the Household Cavalry, Corporal Bishop and Santonine. And chatting to them earlier this week, the Academy Adjutant's Charger Falkland. He's 22 years old and he started his career as a lifeguard in the Queen's Guard. Noticed for his kind nature and strong presence, he was promoted straight to an officer's charger and then as the commanding officer's charger. He's extremely experienced, as you can see, he's on parade, but he is approaching his retirement and he'll be looked after daily by Colonel Crispin Lockhart, his previously commander officer. And as the officer cadets are now making their way in slow time past the dais, we just touched on the charges just then, and incidentally enough, this year celebrates the Jubilee celebrations, the Platinum Jubilee celebrations for Her Majesty the Queen, and a statue was unveiled here at the Academy, and it was commissioned to celebrate the Platinum Jubilee and the long association that Her Majesty has with the Royal Military Academy. It was unveiled by His Royal Highness Prince Edward on Friday the 27th of May 2022, so just a couple of months ago, and it shows Her Majesty in the Grenadier Guards uniform riding her favourite mare, Burmese. And now it took the artist Caroline Wallace a year to sculpt that particular statue and 9 months for the foundry to be painstakingly cast. Those present for the unveiling was His Royal Highness Prince Edward. It was the head of Army Staff, the Chief of General Staff, Carlton Smith, and the Toulouse foundry staff who helped make the statue, and the statue's patron, His Royal Highness Prince of Bahrain, Sheikh Nasser. Her Majesty was really passionate about horses, and which is why we're including the two chargers here today. She started learning to ride at the age of 3, and Burmese, which is depicted in the statue that she is riding, is the beautiful black mare that was given to her in 1969 as a gift from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. And they were in the UK at the time, attending the Royal Windsor show that year. But Burmese was the starring role, as you probably would have seen in The Troop and the Colour, for almost 18 years, rode by Her Majesty between 1969 and 1986. Burmese retired and was put out to pasture in 1987. Later, unfortunately, passed away in 1990. But, incidentally enough, Her Majesty did not replace Burmese, her favourite statue, with another charger. Instead, she chose to ride in the carriage during the remains of Troop of the Colours from 1987. And the officer cadets, as they pass the dais now, you will see they will get in open order, so that means you'll have a bit of a distance between the front rank and the rear rank in order to pay the correct compliments, as you would do an inspection. And then once they pass the rank, you'll see them get into close order, so the ranks will close by. There you can see Company Sir Major McAvoy, the Welsh Guards, leading his company around Chaos Corner, where the divisions are from single line and they move into column. So basically the right half, as you're looking at the parade, half company will end up behind the right half, the left half. Spectacular view of Old College there. As you can see at the apex, just below the flag, above the steps on the facade, is the relief of Mars and Minerva, the ancient gods of war and wisdom, something that all the cadets will see as they arrive on the first day of the academy, as they walk up those steps, and now as they march up the steps, commissioning to complete their full year's training and commissions to the British Army. It reminds them that they must combine the virtues of both war and wisdom. New College Adjutant Chris Pollard, Major Chris Pollard, riding Boris now towards the rear, controlling that all of the officer cadets are making sure that they're all correctly spaced and controlling from the rear. You can see the concentration on not just the staff but the officer cadets now as they march around the square, concentrating on not just keeping in step, but making sure the arms are tightly close to their body, their heads are looking up, their shoulders are back, all the arms are dressed the same as the person next to them, and they're just showing off and really, really, really enjoying the parade. What you'll see now is we're coming to the end of the slow time part. We're waiting for a signal from the parade and the adjutant will break him into quick time. And all the officer cadets have relieved this stage to finally swing their arms as they've been stood to the side of their body for the remainder of the parade up until now. For the senior term, the words of command are given by the officer cadets that were selected as junior under officers or senior under officer. But for the intermediate term and the junior term, because they're still in previous stages of training, they will have their words of command given by the members of staff. And once all the officer cadets have gone past in both slow and quick time, which they are doing now, they will now form back onto their original lines, as you've seen prior to the march past, so their inspection lines. So senior term will be at the front again, followed by intermediate and then the junior term. Old College Regiment Ensemble Major James Timperley put up the rear there, followed by the new college adjutant Chris Pollard. As the officer cadets have completed their final stages in quick time, you'll see that they will perform a movement called left form at the halt. So this is where they left form at a given point, and then it will halt facing the remainder of the stands.
The final soldier marching on the parade is the Old College Regiment Sergeant Major. He is W01 Jim Tipperley of 1 Mercian, and he's the first Mercian to be selected into that post. Recently returned from Opkabrit, Estonia. He's married to Claire, who will be watching at home with their son Brody.
And that's the Academy Adjutant now getting all the parade into a dressing ready for the advance in review order. And this is where the whole parade will come forward 14 paces and halt in front of the Sovereign's representative.
Sandhurst, slow, arms! Sandhurst will advance in review order. By the centre, quick, march! Sandhurst, shoulder, arms! Sandhurst, stand at ease!
And this stage of the parade, we hand over to the Sovereign's representative, who will address the parade.
Rwanda, Mr. Paul Kagame, General Sir Patrick Sandhurst, Chief of General Staff, British Army, Major General Duncan Cadets, Commandant Royal Military Academy, General Officers, Excellencies, distinguished guests, faculty members, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear officer cadets, Assalamu alaikum and good morning. It is indeed a unique honor and great privilege for me to represent Her Majesty, the Queen at Sovereign's Parade at Sandhurst. First and foremost, let me congratulate all graduating cadets and their families on successful completion of training at the Academy. Sandhurst for over 200 years has groomed young boys and girls from the United Kingdom, Commonwealth countries, royalties from across the globe. Your alma mater is without a doubt one of the finest military institutions in the world, which has produced some of the great military leaders that this world has seen. Graduating from Sandhurst is of course a matter of great honor and pride. Today I see that pride on your beaming faces, just as I see it reflected on the faces of your loved ones sitting across the square. You all deserve this moment of fulfillment. You for the remarkable hard work and dedication, and your families for all the patience and support that was lent to you by them. 2 Pakistani cadets would also be graduating with you today. Let me say that I am as proud of you all as I am proud of them. Ladies and gentlemen, my presence here today bears testimony to the deep-rooted relationship that exists between Pakistan and the United Kingdom, based on mutual respect and shared values which have been carefully nurtured by both nations over many decades. Our good Pakistani diaspora in the United Kingdom displays the strength of our historic relationship. I am sure that this relationship will scale greater heights in times to come. Similarly, the bondage between the 2 armed forces is uniquely special as well, forged on the battlefield of great wars and kept alive over the years through extensive regimental affiliations and close professional contact in training and myriad of other military activities. My dear officers cadets, this day marks the beginning of your formal military service, which is the most distinguished and the noblest of profession. As we celebrate your success today, let me remind you of your responsibilities and the great expectations associated with you by this alma mater and your respective nations. The journey that awaits you is challenging as well as exciting. The demand of professional military service will be much higher as you grow in service. You need to equip yourself with lofty attributes of leadership, with clear sense of purpose to gain respect and trust of your subordinates. It is only through development of unwavering trust and confidence that you can instill a spirit de corps in your under command, which will hold you together in times of crisis. Remember that no one is born with professional knowledge. It has to be acquired through constant pursuit. Without it, you cannot achieve professional competence, which is in turn the hallmark of successful military leadership. As a leader, you need to have courage and ability to take difficult decisions and then accept full responsibility. Correct decision-making requires competence and confidence, which can only be acquired through high-class military education, rigorous training, and continuously studying of military history. In the word of Sir Little Hart, and I quote, an officer who has not studied military history as a science is of little use beyond the rank of a captain. You must also understand that persona of a just and impartial commander who exhibits merit in dispensation of reward and punishment is the one who will earn unconditional loyalty and obedience of your under command. My dear officers cadets, as a direct consequences of the onset of the 4th Industrial Revolution, dual-use technologies and niche capabilities led by artificial intelligence are fundamentally altering the character of future war. The battlefield of tomorrow would be characterized by extreme precision, lethality, and transparency, which would be particularly challenging for military leaders, especially young officers in the battle, both mentally and physically. The future is inevitable, and each one of you will have to adapt to new realities in the technological domain to ensure successful outcome in the battle. While it is important to understand this change in character of war, let me tell you about some realities in battlefield that are immune to the ebb and flow of technological advancement and would never change. Let me enumerate few. The value of keeping up a brave face in front of your troops when you are as shattered and frightened inside as all of them. The contagious energy that you would instill in your troops when you would lead them by example and not merely by words. Remember, when a lot of lead is flying in the air in the battlefield, an officer never says advance, rather always says, follow me. The importance of keeping the well-being of your troops ahead of your own is the hallmark of a successful military leader. The essence of the last point cannot be better articulated than what was said by Field Marshal Philip Walhouse Chetwood, who said, and I quote, "The safety, honor, and welfare of your country comes first, always, and every time. The honor, welfare, and comfort of the men you command come next. Your own ease, comfort, and safety come last, always and every time." End quote. These eternal words are boldly etched even today on the walls of Brigadier Francis Ingle Memorial Hall in Pakistan Military Academy to remind every cadet of the importance of these essential tenets of military leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, the primary reason for armed forces to exist today should not be to prosecute war, but to ensure that they do not take place. Mankind's destiny more than ever before hinges on our collective capacity to come together and take the route of peace and cooperation instead of conflict, communication instead of clash, and multilateralism instead of self-preservation. In the interest of world peace, we must strive to preserve the vitality, relevance, and internal sense of impartiality in multilateral institutions, maintain consensus on the collective defense of global commons, and uphold the prestige of international law. In case we fail to do that, I'm afraid we may end up destroying the beautiful world that we have. In the end, my dear officers cadet, I wish and pray for your rewarding careers ahead. May you serve your country with honor, dignity, and pride. Taking this opportunity, I would like to applaud efforts of Commandant and his team for this impressive parade. And finally, before leaving the podium, I would like to pay rich tribute to Major General Duncan Capps, Commandant Royal Military Academy, who is retiring today. Be rest assured, General, that your 37 years of meritorious service will always be remembered and acknowledged. I wish you all the best and Godspeed for your future endeavors. I thank you all. Long live Pakistan-India friendship.
And now we'll be recognising the prize winners.
The International Award, presented by the State of Qatar. The International Award is awarded to the international cadet who has achieved the best overall results in military, academic and practical studies. Today it is awarded to Officer Cadet Al-Mohanadi from Qatar.
Officer Cadet Al Mahadi, 18 Platoon EAPS Company from Qatar. Following commission, he will return to Qatar and serve as a military skill instructor. And he tells us that he's looking forward to taking the high standards of Sandhurst to his upcoming training role back home.
And of course, that's just one of the awards given today. Is an extreme honour to be recognised for any award during this time at the Academy, in particular the ones on parade today.
The Queen's Medal is awarded to the officer cadet who has achieved the best overall results in military, academic and practical studies. Today it is awarded to Officer Cadet Campbell Bareham, who is to be commissioned into the Intelligence Corps. The International Sword, presented by the State of Kuwait. The International Sword is awarded to the International Cadet considered by the Commandant to be the best of the intake. Today it is awarded to Officer Cadet Solms Lorbach from Germany.
Officer Cadet Konrad August Solms Lorbach is from Germany, and he's from 13 Platoon Somme Company. He joined Sandhurst after completing his first year of officer training in the German Armed Forces Academy.
The Sword of Honour. The Sword of Honour is awarded to the officer cadet considered by the Commandant to be the best of the intake. Today it is awarded to Senior Under Officer Wilson, who is to be commissioned into the Rifles.
Officer Cadet Alex Wilson of 12 Platoon Gaza Company said earlier this week that he's looking forward to the privilege and challenge granted in leading a platoon of confident, characterful and professional riflemen.
The Academy Adjutant will now finally address a final present arms before asking the Sovereign's Rep to march the parade off the square.
Sandhurst, General Salute, present arms!
May I have your leave to march the senior division up the Old College steps and the remainder of the parade service?
Please do.
Senior division, take words, courage!
And that's the senior division now getting ready to march up those famous steps of Old College to complete the parade and indeed their commissioning. Just inside Old College grand entrance there, you've seen John Archibald, who's the hall porter. He will be directing all the events that happen inside once we see Falkland, the charger, on up the steps and into Old College Grand Entrance.
The intermediate and junior divisions. Present on! The senior division, inward wheel, by the centre, slow, march!
So this parade marks the culmination of 44 weeks training on the commissioning course, which must be passed by all direct entry officers commissioning into the regular army. The course is split into 3 terms of 14 weeks, with a further 2 weeks of adventurous training. The course covers activities such as military theory, academic study, behavioural sciences, physical training and field exercises, where military skills and leadership are developed and tested under arduous conditions over multi-day periods on defence training areas across England, Wales and in Germany. The officer cadets commissioning today are able to lead and manage a platoon of approximately 30 soldiers in barracks and operations.
And you'll see the colours just coming at the top of the steps now, with the colour party leading the senior term procession, followed by the remainder of the senior term cadets. That's most of the senior term officer cadets, followed by the JUOs, and you can see the Sovereign's banner now leading the Sovereign's platoon towards those famous steps.
Just into the screen now you can see the stick orderlies. The stick orderlies are chosen by the company sergeant majors, and they're seen as the best and smartest officer cadets on drill within the intake. I've already spoken about the 2 female stick orderlies, but the 2 male stick orderlies at the rear are Officer Cadet Robert Boylan, commissioning into the Scots Dragoon Guards, and Officer Cadet Joseph McCaffrey, who is commissioning into the Rifles.
And right behind them, you can see the prize winners making their way up to those steps. And then the final officer cadet that will march up the steps today will be, of course, the Sword of Honour winner. And he will be leading the Academy Adjutant, who the final part of the parade will be taking that horse up those steps and into the grand entrance.
And from all of us here and all from Sandhurst, thank you for joining us, and we hope you have enjoyed the parade.